no hidden fees. An Empire fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard, increase security, and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
Without a strong IT partner, your business ends up overspending, underperforming, wearing too many hats, complicating your work, and more. Applied Connective Technologies can help with experts in every facet of technology. If it plugs in, powers on, or charges up, they're your people. Imagine being able to call one team for all your technology solutions rather than a village of vendors and providers. For all your needs in managed IT and cybersecurity, phone systems, physical security, infrastructure, and audio or video, head to appliedconnective.com to better your business today.
If you want to make new floor shopping easier, come to O Street Carpet. Hi, I'm Steve Carper. Our flooring professionals can help you choose the best flooring for you, your family, and your budget. We eliminate the confusion. Even better, you'll be enjoying your new flooring much sooner. No 6 or 8 week waits. We'll install right away and save you money on installation. Floor shopping made easy every day at O Street Carpet.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
You already know that Select Plumbing takes care of all your plumbing needs, including water heaters, faucet repairs, leaks, drips, sump pumps, and more. Now, they're able to help you with your heating and air conditioning as well. Select Plumbing has recently expanded into residential heating and air, and they're excited to bring this new service to their complete list of plumbing services. Call to book an appointment today at 402-560-6197 or go to selectplumbinginc.com, serving Lincoln, Seward, Milford, and the surrounding areas.
Hey, baseball fans, join the Blur Tailgate at Hilton Omaha this June for our 12th annual hospitality event during the College Baseball Championship Series. Book an experience for your clients or employees with an inclusive bar, buffet, TVs, music, and tailgate games. Secure your spot today and let Blur Events take care of all the work so you can enjoy the day. Plus, we're just steps away from Charles Schwab Field. Visit blurevents.com to book your group, buy tickets, or learn about sponsorships. That's blurevents.com, your college baseball and football tailgate destination.
Have a passion for the outdoors? Nebraska Game and Parks is seeking seasonal teammates. Work in scenic state parks, contribute to vital research projects, and care for our natural spaces. Seasonal staff assist with special events, provide customer service to outdoor enthusiasts, and make a difference for conservation. Join the adventure at outdoornebraska.gov. Apply online today. Paid for by Nebraska Game and Parks. Aired in cooperation with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Old School with DP and J.
Everybody's going to focus on his intensities and antics. I think he would be just fine because Billy Donovan is doing well, right? And he's intense as all get out. But how do you think he would transition to the NBA as a coach? And then also, what does this tell you about the Lakers?
93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. The captain, Vershawn Jackson.
I think the plan is to go bigger at corner. You got to have bigger corners in this league because you got these receivers. You got to deal with Ohio State receivers. And I'm not saying small corners can't get it done, but small corners have to be extraordinary, right? They got to jump higher. They got to do things that bigger corners might not necessarily have to do. So, I mean, losing Ethan Nation, it's kind of a blow, but when you got to get down in scholarships anyway, it's not, man. They got to have their best guys, man.
Alcohol has strained our relationship. Drinking too much can cause harm to friends, family members, and loved ones. By drinking less, we will save our relationship. If you or a loved one is looking for help, find a treatment facility near you at findtreatment.gov. For immediate support, call, text, or chat 988.
Brought to you by Nebraska DHHS in partnership with SAMHSA.
With the Planet Fitness Black Card, you don't just get a great workout, you get a great perk out because your membership is packed with perks. For $1 down and $24.99 a month, you'll get perks like access to any of our 2,400 clean and spacious locations. Bring your friend anytime and both work out with tons of equipment that'll give you that big fitness energy. Relax in the Black Card spa and more. Work out and perk out with the PF Black Card. Join for just $1 down and $24.99 a month.
Hurry, deal ends June 14th. Join now, online or at your local PF Club.
See Home Club for details.
Grandma and Grandpa, Mom and Dad, then the kids, and now the grandkids. Judson Irrigation has provided lawn sprinkler system design, installation, repair, and service to 4 generations. They're just like members of the family. Loyalty, trust, service. It's what you deserve and expect from Judson Irrigation.
Keep summer green. Call Judson Irrigation 402-420-6277 or judsonirrigation.com.
You can help fight deadly diseases like RSV and influenza while getting paid for your time. Velocity Clinical Research is now seeking clinical trial participants in your area. Participants can receive your time. Velocity Clinical Research is now seeking clinical trial participants in your area. Participants can receive compensation for study-related time. No health insurance is needed to join. Find a study near you at velocitytrials.com. That's velocitytrials.com.
Are you looking to get into the electrical construction industry or wanting a new scene? The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeymen and apprentices and are offering great pay and benefits. Call Mike at 402-875-1034 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
If you're a homeowner or a business owner, you have a lot of projects, and no one has an unlimited budget or time. Sunbelt Rentals makes all jobs less stressful with no need to purchase large equipment or hire a crew. You can do it yourself with rentals and everything from aerators and power rakes for spring yard work to stump grinders, concrete mixers, tile saws, and more. Check out their inventory in Lincoln, north of Cornhusker Highway on 56th Street, or online at sunbeltrentals.com.
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is the Don't Punt Hour with former Nebraska receiver.
Throwing over the middle, completes the pass. He's got speed to the end zone. Touchdown. 45 yards.
And return specialist.
This time he beats the kicker and one more.
DeMornay Pierson-El.
Only does the sideline have confidence in Pierson-El.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back into Ticket Weeknights. Once again, Harrison Arns on the ones and twos. We're streaming only as we got the College World Series on the airwaves. So again, if you guys want to continue to listen and join in on these shows, you got to use these streams. That's Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and ILO Channel 961. Shout out to Sartre Heyman Jewelers video stream for giving us the ability to bring that content out to you guys. But nonetheless, let's bring him in. The host, as always, DeMornay Pierson-El. How's it going on this warm and muggy Monday night, man?
It's going good, just enjoying the weather.
Yeah, it's beautiful out there. I recommend people go hang out with the guys down there at Blur Events College World Series. A lot of fun. They'll be out there again Wednesday when that picks back up. Definitely a lot of fun. And they got the misters in there too, I believe, if it gets too warm out there. But let's go ahead and start there. Then obviously I want to talk about NBA Finals. And then to kind of wrap things up on those last two segments, I want to talk about quarterbacks, in particular NFL quarterbacks. And we'll kind of go through and rank them, what we think ahead of this season, which quarterbacks are going to stick out, and maybe even put them into some tiers in their own categories. But let's go ahead and start with the College World Series. Out of all the teams right now, we got Virginia on the outside looking in. They were the first to be eliminated, along with NC State also gets eliminated. So now we're sitting here, Kentucky, Texas A&M. They're playing right now at the bottom of the fourth scoreless. You look at the winners bracket, you still got North Carolina, Tennessee, and Florida State all still alive in it. Tennessee has advanced. North Carolina and Florida State got to play it out of the losers elimination bracket, to see who comes out on top. So DeMornay Pierson-El, out of those teams left, we got Tennessee, North Carolina, Florida, Kentucky, and Texas A&M, which are playing right now, like I said, scoreless in the bottom of the fourth. With everybody that's left, who do you like making their way all the way through it and winning the College World Series?
Tennessee, I would say, will probably be the favorite right now.
And excuse me, Florida's in the mix as well. I don't want to. I did forget to mention Florida.
I'm not worried about Florida. Like I said, I think Tennessee's been playing strong, the best baseball. I mean, clearly they're still, undefeated and whatnot. Florida State hasn't been too bad, along with UNC and whatnot. But Tennessee is just very. They were one of the first games that I think that ended the game in a walk-up home run, if I'm not mistaken, correct? I think it was I think the first 3 games all ended it kind of the same way. So
yeah, it was a crazy,
I mean, for them,
crazy day one.
I mean that they were losing, and again we talked about that SEC baseball is just different. They just started going to work, so it's tough when you've seen them come back from that. Makes you a little bit nervous, regardless of pitching and everything like that. You might catch them at the right day with a messed up rotation with pitching, or they might just fall off. But I mean, as of right now, they look the strongest, and it's not close.
Yeah, I'd probably roll with Tennessee to win it all too. I think Florida State, unfortunately, kind of got the buzzsaw because the 2 teams I really like the most in this thing that are left over. Give me Florida State and Tennessee. Now, obviously, it's going to be someone from the other side. I honestly thought NC State was a pretty good squad. I don't know what it is with Florida. As a Nebraska fans, should we be rooting for Florida, considering that's a team that we lost to the first round? Wasn't that close? Second time around, a little bit of a closer of a game. But that was kind of the clear litmus test, at least for Nebraska baseball. It's like, if we're not going to be able to take down some of these SEC, ACC opponents, we can kind of give up our dreams of trying to win the College World Series. Now you're looking at a team like Florida, the team that Nebraska got eliminated by. Are you rooting for Florida at all in any capacity to try to win this thing and make Nebraska maybe look a little bit better?
I mean, it's tough to say. It would help them, but I mean, not really. I mean, it makes them. I mean, even if they end up making it to the national championship, like it would soften the blow a little bit, but still, it's like they still got hot. You can say at the right time. So I don't think they were the better team, and we just a complication of things that happened. Around that time, we just caught them at. They caught us at the right time, and we kind of didn't show up, and it was just inconsistent play. So I mean, you can say it will look better. I mean, it still hurts. So I'm not too much of a fan of it.
Yeah, I mean, the best way to, garner support is you just win the damn game. Then you don't have to play these games. But it is something about Nebraska baseball and their luck. It just seems odd. There's always a team that Nebraska gets eliminated by that typically makes a deep run, not past the regionals, past the super regionals, finds themselves in the College World Series, and then makes a little bit of advancements there too. Just a little bit interesting. Nebraska definitely seems to do a pretty good job, Greg, playing against those teams that make deep runs. Florida, they might be just continuing to play hot. They have lost 1 elimination game already, so 1 more, and they're out of the mix. But yeah, when it comes to the teams left, to me, it feels like it's going to be Tennessee or Florida State. Those 2 teams seem like above and away the better teams, but not by much. So I won't be surprised here, but those 2 teams definitely the ones that look the most dialed in right now. Let's go ahead and talk about it. The NBA Finals, the Mavericks did it. They fended off a gentleman's sweep. They're able to take down the Boston Celtics at home. And the game wasn't really close at all. From first half ended all the way to the end of the fourth quarter, the Mavericks never felt like they're in jeopardy. There's a couple swings in there where Celtics were getting some momentum, but for the most part, pretty much the Mavericks all the way through. Any shock, surprises to see the Mavericks shove away the gentleman's sweep, keep themselves alive for another game?
No, we all knew what they are capable of playing at when everybody's, doing their part. You had some people on the bench that showed up. I can't think of the kid's name. I don't know if he's an 8 or 0. He's very athletic. He got the tip-in dunk. I want to say it might be 8. I don't know if it's 0. I can't think of his name. But, he was, running and bringing, activity up and down the court on the offensive side and defensive side. So I'm not sure why they haven't been playing like that this whole time. Everybody was attacking the rim. They kind of got back to, their bread and butter with, throwing the lob and having things go in and whatnot and attacking the rim. So hopefully, tonight can be something along the lines of what we've seen in game 4. Because if they play like that, I think it'll be a competitive game. Boston, they were inconsistent. They weren't really hot. They weren't playing terrible, but I think, the Mavs just got off to a hot start. It was just, it was a lot to slow them down. So as long as they can continue to play like how they did in game 4, I think they can pull off, game 5.
Yeah, the guy you're talking about, Dante Exum for the Mavericks. He comes in there, finally starts getting some minutes here in the playoffs, and he was one of those X factors. I think they were having a hard time, like you said, not only the length and size of him, but he's a pretty damn good three-point shooter as well, so you can't leave him open. So they definitely added a little bit of what they lost for whatever reason. A lot of the guys just had some poor shooting when they got to this stage. Dante Exum inserts into the role, and he's actually shooting the ball well. And like you said, tall, lengthy, matches up probably a little better defensively too with what the Boston Celtics want to do. But to me, it was a situation, and as a competitor, you can tell me if I'm wrong. I don't think this is ever an intentional thing that any player or coach wants to do, but it did kind of feel like one of those games where the Celtics are like almost ahead of themselves, thinking, we're in Dallas. If we win it here, where's the party at afterwards? Now, I don't think that's what's in their mind, but I do think part of that's in the back conscience where we can really wrap this thing up tonight. Maybe they weren't expecting to win game 3 and to have the opportunity to sweep them in 4 games. It almost looked like they were thinking ahead a little bit too much. Pierson-El, in your case, does that ever happen?
I don't think so. I mean, as you said, these teams are playing each other multiple times, back to back, kind of, within a 3-night span or something like that. So, I mean, you got traveling and everything like that, injuries and whatnot. I think it just so happens that, Boston might have been tired. They didn't throw their best punch. And, the Mavericks were a little bit hungrier that night more than them. So, I mean, they got one off, they got one away and everything like that, and let things run off and whatnot. So, I don't think they were thinking of like, we're not going to do this or, hold off on things and whatnot. But at the end of the day, I mean, if you win this, you get a ring. You win this, and a lot of the talk and a lot of the criticism that people are saying about, that young, talented Celtics team will go out the window. So, it might have been a little bit of, not thinking too much and not doing too much. It's kind of, it is what it is. Take the L. It's not going to necessarily hurt them, but I don't think they were, too ahead of it and everything like that. I mean, the better team won that night, and that was the Mavericks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the Celtics still got Kristaps Porzingis in their back pocket, which is the thing where if you're a Mavericks fan, that's scary. The fact that he definitely feels like the guy where if they want to end it, they will bring out Porzingis because they haven't had an answer for him. It's simply not at all. Nobody has yet, but that's, part of the thing of Porzingis sending out through all these playoffs is this is the first time teams are really trying to figure out how do we counter a guy like Porzingis in that lineup that has a bunch of tall, strong defenders already, and then you add a mobile center who can shoot the 3 ball. Just adds a lot of tough matchup problems. With that being said, how much longer do you think the Mavericks keep this alive? And do they have a chance to actually shock the world and be the second team to come back from a 3-1?
I still think I think it's over for the Mavs. And we've seen them kind of go on this inconsistent run.
Oh yeah, it's the Mavericks story. Absolutely.
I think they kind of got away from it this last game. I think they have a chance to win one more, and I think they should get it tonight. You win Boston, you kind of got the giant bleeding. You found a seam in the armor, so you just got to kind of keep attacking it. A good game plan and whatnot. But Boston is back in Boston. If they end it there, they end their city, and it's a lot on the lines of that. So I think more so. I would say the pressure is probably on Boston a little bit more than the Mavs, honestly, just to kind of get things over with and whatnot. So I think the Mavs pull off another one tonight, but that'll be it. I don't got the money.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. That one's going to take off here about 10 minutes from tip-off. It's up to the Mavericks to kind of keep themselves alive, but I just can't get over the fact Boston Celtics, you got a game breaker in Porzingis still at your disposal if you think he's healthy enough. I'd imagine they'll try to play him and close out the series, or they arrest him for one more game. But either way, for the Mavericks, that at least gives you some time to figure out Jason Kidd and company. How are we going to figure out a way to counter Porzingis when they do decide he's healthy enough to play? Because up until this point, they just haven't. So at least you win another game with him off the court, gives you some more time to prepare. But yeah, to me, this feels like I want to go with the Mavericks here, but I do think this thing ends. I think it ends in this upcoming game here. The Boston Celtics, we'll put them at, let's see here, only 22 losses now at this point through the regular season and the playoffs. I don't think they're going to drop anymore. I just think it's a team too good. And you look at the shooting numbers.
They haven't lost one at home yet. And, you know, they're bound to drop one at home. And I know, you know, that first game, you know, or the second game, it could have went their way and whatnot, you know. So let's not forget, you know, kind of what Boston typically does and everything like that. They should have lost one against the Pacers. That first game, that was a loss. That was just bad management on the opposing end. So let's not act like, you know, Boston just won't cough up one at home. So like I said, I believe the Mavs, as long as they come out somewhat or on the level of how they did it in Game 4, I think regardless of whatever the Celtics do and whatnot, it was too much for them to handle. And like I said, I think they found some type of life. They found, you know, a niche in the armor, and I think they'll attack and expose that tonight. But it's going to be a lot of tension.
Yeah, they better hope the Celtics are too dumb to patch up that niche in the armor that you're talking about. Because to me, that niche in the armor was just, we shot the ball pretty bad tonight. They think that's all it was.
But we've seen them shoot the ball pretty bad and still win.
Exactly.
So like you can't use that as an excuse because
the Mavericks had their opportunity. Game 3, you couldn't have asked for a more piss poor shooting night from the Boston Celtics, and they dropped the game.
Celtics, exactly, and the Celtics still pulled it out. So now all of a sudden, we were shooting bad that night, but you just were shooting bad the other night and still pulled something out. Yeah. So I'm not taking that as in, well, you know, like, no, you might have been tired. You know what I'm saying? It was what it was. I'm not saying you let them get away with one or anything like that, but the same excuses can't be used. So y'all found a way to win it. Kyrie, I think, had 30 something that night. Luka had 25 or 28 or something that night, and y'all still put off a win. Now all of a sudden, when they when they kind of get things rolling and get things consistently, y'all are shooting terrible or y'all are off, and you get blown out.
Yeah.
So it's like I said, Boston will drop one at home, and hopefully tonight is the night that they will.
Yeah, there is absolutely the chance. The one thing or you could argue is one of the things people hate the most about the NBA today is who's hot from the 3-point line. That's your best guess who's going to win. How do you predict that? Good luck. I mean, that's why if you're ever going to be going down to Warhorse Casino, especially talking regular season betting, NBA, good luck. There's a reason why there's less and less parity. There's a reason why we're seeing AC Miami Heat. The 3-point line and the volatility of it is changing the playoffs as we know it. I mean, it's so hard to be consistent. So is there a world where the Celtics put together another bad night of shooting and the Mavericks take this one away on the road? Absolutely. I'm just looking at the numbers. I'm assuming that there's no way they shoot this bad again, but it absolutely can happen. And you can be a perfect storm situation where you look at the Mavericks and they shoot, 40, 50% from the 3-point line. With that being said, though, who the hell wants this MVP award in the finals playoffs? I mean, that was from the Celtics. It felt like nobody wanted it yesterday. Obviously, everybody wants it, but the shooting numbers were just bad across the board. For a while there, Jrue Holiday looked like he was in the mix. After yesterday, it looks like he's on the outside looking in. Jaylen Brown, who's another favorite, he was 3 for 12 in that last game. Jason Tatum, he was only 4 for 10. It was a collective performance, but, I mean, who's your pick? Who's been the MVP in this entire final series?
I think Jaylen Brown, regardless of the shooting. He's been the consistent that has been making things go on the offensive end. He's been, attacking things, being dominant on both sides. Tatum really hasn't been, that much of a scorer the whole series, honestly. Like I think he's only gotten over 16 points maybe once.
Yeah, just once. That first or second game.
I think it was the second game.
Mm-hmm.
He had 16. So I mean, if it ends tonight, it has to be because Jaylen Brown, takes off and goes off. My second choice would probably be Holiday. just for what he's been able to mold into to get things done on the defensive end of stuff. I know they kind of talk about it, but I still think they don't bring it up enough for what he's contributed on that end that made, a lot of things run more smoother for the Boston Celtics completely. And then, if it's him hitting a corner three or him making an extra pass or him crashing the boards, he's been an essential piece of them being successful. But regardless of, Jalen playing bad the last night, he's still the guy. And he's still blowing everybody out, and it's not close.
Yeah, I think it's probably still Brown. You probably give it to him. Yes, he had one bad game. For the most part, he's been consistent. Tatum's been an odd case this entire finals, just been bad. I mean, the worst showcase, he's lucky that he's got a team around him that's kind of picking up everything offensively, because he still gives you defense. He still gives you hustle, rebounds. All of that stuff's fine. He does a good job of that, but the shooting's just been bad. Unfortunately, in the biggest stage, that game one, he was 6 for 16. He did get 16 points in that first one. The second game, he got 18 points, but again, we're looking at the shooting number. 6 for 22. You take 22 shots and you don't even get to 20 points. Tough shooting night. His best game, still not great shooting numbers. 11 for 26. He does leave the game with 31 points, though. And the last one, 4 for 10, shooting about 40%. That one I can live with. You only took 10 shots. It's fine if I don't see a high point total. Only 40%, 15 points. But Tatum, it's been an interesting finals. I mean, there's a world where if Luka just played a little bit of defense, there's a world where you might even give it to the losing team and Luka Doncic. The Celtics, and this isn't, a negative on them. They've been so much of a well-rounded team that it doesn't really fall on one guy. The Mavericks, I mean, they're not here without Luka Doncic, and there's no question. As frustrating as it is on defense, Windhorst really not dicing up his words in his post-game comments. There's still the reality they are not here without Luka. With the Boston Celtics, you can make an argument they could be here without a Tatum. Now, Brown is where it falls apart a little bit. You obviously don't get to that regular season record without both of those guys together. But, I mean, is there a real world where, say, the Mavericks push this thing and we get to a game 6, maybe even a game 7? Is there any world where the MVP goes to the losing team? Shout out to the late, great Jerry West, where I can't remember another time that's where it really happened, where Jerry West was able to get it despite losing to the Boston Celtics in the finals.
It depends on how Jaylen Brown's play is. So let's just say, for instance, these next 2 games, he's above 30 both games. 5 blocks, 5 steals.
Yeah, then it's no question.
10, 11 rebounds. Then it's without a doubt it's him. Like Boston would have to mess up a whole lot for things to swing the other way, and Luka, or for things to for Luka to win the MVP over the team that actually win.
Yeah,
but both their star players would have to they wouldn't get 12 points. Like they would have to stink up the game, choke. And I don't see Boston necessarily doing that.
No, and if we're being real, I think if it does get that bad, we're probably looking at the Mavericks hoisting up the trophy in some form or fashion to see an absolute melt. Because, like you said, I think Brown would have to have a finals meltdown of epic proportions. Because I think it is probably his award, definitely not Tatum's. It's really coming down to Brown and Holiday. It's kind of bizarre looking at Tatum, but he doesn't really seem to bother him too much. And you could argue that's something about Brown and Tatum that's, if you're a Celtics fan, is awesome, because it doesn't seem to affect Tatum at all. He really does not seem to care. So it gives you some confidence as those two going forward, whoever the ringleader is, it's going to be a good team chemistry. You don't have to worry about a Kyrie, LeBron situation, James Harden, Ben Simmons. You can go through a litany of star players where the chemistry didn't work. That doesn't ever seem like it's going to be true for Tatum and Brown. Those guys, despite who's scoring the points, seem to be very happy just to be on the same team with each other. So don't go anywhere, though. We'll throw it to break. And DeMorning Pierson-El on the other side. Let's go ahead and talk NFL quarterbacks, especially now that we have some that got paid some serious numbers. Let's go ahead and rank them in a particular order from top to bottom, not exact, and then we can kind of tier them from there on guys who are game changers, to guys who are just serving in that starter role, to guys that are really need to improve or show a lot if they're going to be a consistent starter in this league. So don't go anywhere. We're talking NFL quarterbacks up next. This is the Don't Punt Hour with DeMorning Pierson-El. Harrison Arns back at the 1040 Ticket Studios. We'll talk to you in just a little bit.
Your home. Empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
Without a strong IT partner, your business ends up overspending, underperforming, wearing too many hats, complicating your work, and more. Applied Connective Technologies can help with experts in every facet of technology. If it plugs in, powers on, or charges up, they're your people. Imagine being able to call one team for all your technology solutions rather than a village of vendors and providers. For all your needs in managed IT and cybersecurity, phone systems, physical security, infrastructure, and audio or video, head to appliedconnective.com to better your business today.
If you want to make new floor shopping easier, come to O Street Carpet. Hi, I'm Steve Carper. Our flooring professionals can help you choose the best flooring for you, your family, and your budget. We eliminate the confusion. Even better, you'll be enjoying your new flooring much sooner. No 6 or 8 week waits. We'll install right away and save you money on installation. Floor shopping made easy every day at O Street Carpet.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
You already know that Select Plumbing takes care of all your plumbing needs, including water heaters, faucet repairs, leaks, drips, sump pumps, and more. Now, they're able to help you with your heating and air conditioning as well. Select Plumbing has recently expanded into residential heating and air, and they're excited to bring this new service to their complete list of plumbing services. Call to book an appointment today at 402-560-6197 or go to selectplumbinginc.com, serving Lincoln, Seward, Milford, and the surrounding areas.
Hey, baseball fans, join the Blur Tailgate at Hilton Omaha this June for our 12th annual hospitality event during the College Baseball Championship Series. Book an experience for your clients or employees with an inclusive bar, buffet, TVs, music, and tailgate games. Secure your spot today and let Blur Events take care of all the work so you can enjoy the day. Plus, we're just steps away from Charles Schwab Field. Visit blurevents.com to book your group, buy tickets, or learn about sponsorships. That's blurevents.com, your college baseball and football tailgate destination.
Have a passion for the outdoors? Nebraska Game and Parks is seeking seasonal teammates. Work in scenic state parks, contribute to vital research projects, and care for our natural spaces. Seasonal staff assist with special events, provide customer service to outdoor enthusiasts, and make a difference for conservation. Join the adventure at outdoornebraska.gov. Apply online today. Paid for by Nebraska Game and Parks. Aired in cooperation with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Old School with DP and J.
Everybody's going to focus on his intensities and antics. I think he would be just fine because Billy Donovan is doing well, right? And he's intense as all get out. But how do you think he would transition to the NBA as a coach? And then also, what does this tell you about the Lakers?
93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. The captain, Vershawn Jackson.
I think the plan is to go bigger at corner. You got to have bigger corners in this league because you got these receivers. You got to deal with Ohio State receivers. And I'm not saying small corners can't get it done, but small corners have to be extraordinary, right? They got to jump higher. They got to do things that bigger corners might not necessarily have to do. So, I mean, losing Ethan Nation, it's kind of a blow, but when you got to get down in scholarships anyway, it's not, man. They got to have their best guys, man.
Alcohol has strained our relationship. Drinking too much can cause harm to friends, family members, and loved ones. By drinking less, we will save our relationship. If you or a loved one is looking for help, find a treatment facility near you at findtreatment.gov. For immediate support, call, text, or chat 988.
Brought to you by Nebraska DHHS in partnership with SAMHSA.
With the Planet Fitness Black Card, you don't just get a great workout, you get a great perk out because your membership is packed with perks. For $1 down and $24.99 a month, you'll get perks like access to any of our 2,400 clean and spacious locations. Bring your friend anytime and both work out with tons of equipment that'll give you that big fitness energy. Relax in the Black Card spa and more. Work out and perk out with the PF Black Card. Join for just $1 down and $24.99 a month.
Hurry, deal ends June 14th. Join now, online or at your local PF Club.
See Home Club for details.
This is the Don't Punt Hour on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Here is your host, DeMornay Pierson-El.
All right, welcome to weeknights. Harrison Arns on the ones and twos. If you guys want to join in, use the streams: Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, and Allo Channel 961. We got the College World Series on the brick and mortar. So again, if you want to listen to the show, you got to use the streams. And feel free to comment through there as well. On the last side, I teased we're going to be talking about quarterbacks as we're getting closer and closer to the NFL season. Obviously, there are a lot of reasons for me to be optimistic. Raiders, maybe not so. No, I'm just kidding. Raiders, who knows? As a Bears,
Don't start. Don't you start.
Well, this will be fun. We
can go through it. You get on the quarterback. He laying up ducks.
Keep talking. Just keep talking. That's all I'm saying. As a Bears fan, Bears Nation, everybody out there that's listening, that's a Bears fan. One day, hopefully sooner than later, because I'm 25 and it's sucked all 25 years. A little bit of tricky, but
it ain't this year.
I can't even. The worst part about being a Bears fan is you have nothing to point to. There's not a damn thing I can point to that tells you can be differently. The only thing I have is my pride. My pride's telling me no. So, but let's go ahead and rank these. There is no Bears quarterback in these top 10.
Yeah.
Not even close. So let's go through it. Number 1, Patrick Mahomes. I think it's pretty clear. Is there anybody other than Patrick Mahomes?
Are we going in tiers or
This to me is the tier of, I'm going to single this off as he's in a tier by himself. There's nobody in Patrick Mahomes' tier. If you want to throw somebody in there with him, feel free to do so. But this to me is the true champion tier. The best quarterback, hands down.
I'll give you that.
All right. So Patrick Mahomes in a tier of his own, he's number 1. Tier 2, this is one to call the quote unquote, you can call them game changers, you can call them elite. This is the cream of the crop QBs in that class. I'm probably still going to put Josh Allen 2, even if the season doesn't indicate it. It'll be curious with his wide receivers. I'm looking at quarterback in itself. Josh Allen, I'd still take him 2 out of all the quarterbacks in the league.
I don't think he's 2, but he's definitely in. I would say him and a few other guys is in that next tier. But for me, it's Lamar.
Yeah, that's he's in that tier with him.
You're talking about a guy that with Josh Allen who hasn't even won an MVP, and he's 2.
Lamar Jackson can't even make it out of the first round of the playoffs.
He did this past year. What were we talking about?
Was it he lost the second game? You're right. It was the second game they lost.
Let's try.
Still made it further than Josh Allen still made it further. He ran into the Chiefs.
Debatable. Like I said, I think they're all. I think Josh Allen. To be honest, the only other person that I might sneak up there with Mahomes, if he's healthy, is Joe Burrow. I think those two are in a category of their own. And then the next category would be Lamar. Josh Allen, and
so you got Burrow 2 in his own.
If he's healthy,
okay. Let's assume they're healthy because I don't hate that at all. I think Joe Burrow's in there.
Only reason why I didn't is just because he didn't finish last year. He was hurt, so I didn't know if we were going off of last year's or just hypothetically. So I think Mahomes and Burrow are in their own elite level of their self, period. I think those two are, you when you get them, you know what you get in. You at least go into the AFC Championship. Fair to say?
Yeah, that's fair. No, absolutely.
So outside of that, like I said, the next would be definitely like I said, Lamar is in there.
Where does Aaron Rodgers fit in this? I had a hard time going through quarterbacks. What am I realistically expecting for Aaron Rodgers? Because I think with this next group for me, it definitely goes Patrick Mahomes. I lump Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, and even Joe Burrow. He's the last one kind of on the fringe of that list. And then I'm trying to think, does Jalen Hurts go in with that group? I think he's a tier below. I think Aaron Rodgers is in that tier below as well. I think I got Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen in that next tier.
It's hard to put because I think I'm probably one of the most talented players to throw the football. period, with A-Rod. The issue with A-Rod is, one, his health. He's been starting off, you hope that, Joe Burrow's career doesn't shadow that, but, Aaron Rodgers has had one significant injury, after another. When he's healthy and, what he brings to the table, I think he is, but the teams that he has been a part of and still fell short, it has an asterisk, with it. So I'm not trying to, downplay, because like I said, I think he is a great quarterback. When you do have him, and you put pieces around him, he can carry your team far. The question about him is, okay, is he going to be healthy enough to get us there?
Yeah, and then when I'm talking about these situations, that's fair, because assuming they start the season healthy without erasing all the injuries in the past. So that's why with Joe Burrow, Rodgers, I think they definitely contend. They think they'll be healthy entering the season, so I have high expectations. That's the stipulation I'm putting on.
I would put A-Rod, just out of respect and kind of his resume of what he has done. I would put him in the same category with Lamar, Allen, and he'll be the third quarterback.
I got no problem. I'm going to put him a tier below, just because I'm a little skeptical to see what it looks like, because again, he's had some weird reports, just even with that other foot now, trying to walk on it. I'm just curious to see what it looks like. Again, not erasing the injuries in the past, but assuming that they're cleared to at least start and play week one.
If you're saying they are healthy, you just said Joe was healthy and whatnot, and if he's not even 8 months out of surgery, and exactly, so come on now, like, which side are you on? Like, you can't. Like, come on now, be square up. Which one we doing?
You want to do just assuming they're all healthy and cleared, and that's going to be the easiest way to do it.
Period. So I'm, like I said, that tier 2, I will go Lamar. I'll go Lamar. I'll go A-Rod and Allen.
All right, I'll stick to my guns and I'll put A-Rod just still on the outside looking in, because we'll just say age. Age, we'll find out what happens. But yeah, that's just a team where if you're a Jets fan, you hope it clicks. That's the one guy that's going to pull that franchise out of the mud that's just been wallowing in the mud forever. But this is where it gets interesting, right? Because I look at these guys. These are postseason. They're going to give you a chance. They're going to give you a chance to make it a deep run, postseason play, a Stafford, if you will, even a Goff, someone of that kind of caliber. Jalen Hurts, Tua Tagovailoa, they're probably the first two guys on that list. When I come to postseason, Stafford as well. I think Stafford gives you a really good shot when you get to postseason play. So I'd say the first guy off the list, I'm taking Hurts. Second guy, go ahead and I'll take Stafford. Give me Stafford.
Give me Goff.
That's Stafford and Goff are so much.
Give me Goff. Like, I think people, for one, don't give him enough credit for, regardless of what you want to say or what you want to put. At the end of the day, he can make every throw. Mm-hmm. He's been a pro. He's been efficient at a high level in 2 different systems. He's played in the Super Bowl. He's seen a lot. Regardless of the Rams sent him to Detroit to end his career, and he has come back like the guy in Braveheart. I'm just saying, so I think it's other tangibles you necessarily have to look at outside of athletic ability and other things, and I feel like Goff doesn't get his flowers as much as he should. So I would go, give me Goff first, and then I would probably go Stafford second.
Okay, when do Tua?
Jalen Hurts would be the next one after that. They all are kind of in the same category, but if I just had to pick my quarterbacks first in that tier, Jalen would be third.
All right, now we got, let's see here. We need one more, and then we're past our top 10 QBs in a rough order here. We'll summarize it, and we can see if there were anybody we missed out, we'd want to reinsert back in there. What about Herbert? He's the guy that was supposed to be the next, kind of golden child in the NFL. Has not worked out for him, but he's still one of those quarterbacks where I would be more than excited to bring him on my roster.
when I look at Herbert, like, the ceiling and potential is high. Let's just hypothetically put Herbert with the Dolphins. I think that team looks different. Nothing against Tua, but he's kind of been injury prone. Even with Flores, he looked like a different coach.
Yeah.
So let's give Herbert a well organized coach. I'm not scratching my head at with Harbaugh. I'm not saying that what he brings to the table won't benefit or work for Herbert, but I feel like Harbaugh's kind of had, other than McCarthy, other than JJ at Michigan, I feel like he's had more of running first quarterbacks. Not to say that Herbert isn't. I mean, if we look back at who he had at Stanford, Andrew Luck could tuck that thing and run.
Yeah.
Even when he had Colin Kaepernick, could tuck and run. So that's not Herbert's, MO. He is a pure pocket passer, and the type of system that typically, that Harbaugh runs. It's West Coast, a mean run game, play action. He doesn't have the receiver, so I can't really see that right now. And I don't know who the running back is. So he doesn't have the supporting cast, and I think that might hurt him right now. But if we were to move Herbert, like I said, with a Miami or something like that, Herbert probably would have been in either one of the last two tiers. So just talent-wise, he's up there, and I think highly of him, but I just don't know how it's going to look. And they have a talented defense, but I can't say the same for offense.
The Chargers are going to be a hell of a case study because Harbaugh just raves about Herbert. I mean, he freaking loves his quarterback that he has in position right now. So it does give you the idea that Harbaugh's definitely in the mindset that this is the guy. We need to figure out what works best around him. So I'd be willing to bet that he gets away from his ideologies at Michigan just based on how much he's selling everybody that this is the quarterback. Like, we're not even considering the idea of moving on and trying to get somebody else that fits more of my style. He's very in love with the idea of trying to match it up with Herbert. So he's, like you said, interesting situation. Year 2 with Harbaugh, I think it takes off more. This year, I'm a little bit skeptical just because, like, exactly what you said. That offense, I don't care if you got, one of the best.
Might be the worst offense on paper. Like, I'm not lying. Like, your offensive line is, other than probably Burrow getting sacked as much, I would say Herbert is right probably after. So I know you drafted, in the past couple of years, you drafted, 2 left tackles. We're gonna see how that works out because you got Slater that's still there. He's been a Pro Bowler. I know he was hurt, but he's a Pro Bowler. So are you moving him from left tackle to right? And you got Joe Alt, whose father was a 15-year pro. Are you? So I don't know. What are you doing with that? Are you moving Slater to left guard maybe? I don't. I don't know. Outside of your offensive line, again, I can't tell you who their starting 3 receivers are going to be.
It's not good. You're looking at McConkey. You're looking at Quentin Johnson and Joshua Palmer. That's kind of who they got projected right now. The running back room, like you said, you got the Ravens running back in Gus. I think highly of Gus, but they don't have Baltimore's offensive line. No, and you need a 1-2 punch with Gus Edwards. He's that guy on the goal line that's going to get you in. He's not there to lead you. Maybe I'm wrong, but everything with Baltimore says he is the perfect 1-2 punch. That's how you use Gus Edwards. And behind him, they got J.K. Dobbins, another guy who's just coming off injury. It's not great. Justin Herbert, even though Harbaugh's first year, not a great room to walk in. So it's nothing against Herbert, but absolutely skeptical about it. One guy we left off the list, and we're past the top 10 now.
Mm-hmm.
Brock Purdy. He's a tough read as well because with that offense, if you do bad with that offense, it's clear you're just not a good quarterback. But he's bringing that team far. He wins a lot with them. He doesn't have to make the biggest plays, but he's always consistent with the plays he has to make. Where do you at with Brock Purdy in terms of being a top 10 or left out the top 10?
That one is hard because for him to do what he has done in a little bit of time, that's not easy.
Mm-hmm.
His preparation, how he attacks the game and everything like that, says a lot about that. But you are also on probably the most talented roster. So I'm not taking things away from him, but put Jordan Love with the 49ers. Put Justin Herbert with the 49ers. They might be on a three-peat.
Yeah.
And so I'm not trying to discredit him because, like I said, it's you still have to go out there and play. Now, you might not have to be as dominant and direct and, as much as a Patrick Mahomes in the game. I mean, you got, some pretty good, probably Hall of Famers, for sure, all pro guys around you. So that makes, his job easier. And you have, probably a Hall of Fame coach, coaching you, who is a quarterback guru. Look at the teams that he's been a part of. He's taken multiple teams, to the Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. Hasn't won, just yet, but I mean, he's been right then and there. So I think he's a bit of in a unique situation. And I would have to see him without some of the weapons and how he commands and changes a game before, I could really kind of gauge that, because give Dak those weapons and let's see how Dak does. You got Christian McCaffrey, you got an all-pro gold jacket at left tackle. You have probably a gold jacket tight end. You got 2 first-round receivers. You know what I'm saying, with Jennings. I mean, not Jennings.
Just got Ayuk out there. Yep.
Ayuk and Debo. So you don't necessarily have to be perfect, but you have to just be good enough to give them a chance. And so, honestly, it's almost him but I can't really say that because Jalen went further without AJ Brown.
That's my next question.
So,
Brock Purdy or Hurts? Which one would you take if you're going to start a franchise? Jalen Hurts or the pocket passer Brock Purdy?
My coach.
Ooh, you get the Dolphins McDaniels. You get the offensive guru.
Then I will give me Jalen Hurts. I think he can be more dynamic. I think the position and the situation that McDaniels can put Jalen in certain positions, you can maximize the potential of your offense to be a threat. You're going to make your opposing team guard every blade of grass, 53.5 yards across, 110 yards, each way, and I think, he can just be more dynamic than a Purdy if you have an offensive-minded coach that we've seen, the tree that he's come from.
Does Mike Tomlin, if he's the head coach, does that change it?
Between those two?
Yeah, say now Mike Tomlin's the head coach. Are you still going with Hurts? Because that's, to me, if I got Mike Tomlin, it's definitely Purdy. Give me the guy who I know is just going to hit on exactly what I ask him to, nothing more, nothing less. To me, that's Mike Tomlin in a nutshell. Consistency.
Yeah, I think I will go with Purdy. Not to say I'm anxious to see, because Ben wasn't a running quarterback.
Not at all.
He was a bruiser. He could take. He was strong, so he would still get hit, push somebody off, and still make a throw. So I think we've already kind of seen somewhat of a mobile quarterback with Pickett, which when they drafted him, it was what it just was. So I'm interested to see how Mike does with Russ this year. But I mean, they're in a different situation because Russ is already situated, established, and what he is. And I think, not to say that Mike Tomlin can't add to Russell Wilson's career, but I think he would be a little bit more impactful on I'm blanking on his name. Who's right behind him?
You got Brock Purdy, or you can put Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, so I don't. We haven't really seen him with a mobile quarterback, so we know what he can be with somebody who's is consistent enough, like Purdy and that type of system. So with Mike Tomlin, I probably will go with Purdy.
All right. Then the last quarterback I want to get to, and we'll wrap it up here as we just skipped over the break since we're streaming anyways. I want to talk about one quarterback, and I will just keep naming quarterbacks until you say Trevor Lawrence, the guy who just got paid a bunch of money, is better. And so Trevor Lawrence, until I name a quarterback that you think you would take over Trevor Lawrence, or excuse me, a quarterback that you would not take over Trevor Lawrence, that's where we'll stop and wrap up the show. Because he's a weird one. I mean, he just got paid a ton of money. Terrible situation, the turmoil around it. It's hard to imagine anybody who has a ton of success, but he stayed through it. And he does look like he's been able to get through what has been a failure on management and still somehow get the best of his team when he's healthy. So we'll start very easy. Patrick Mahomes. Nobody, we're all going to take Patrick Mahomes. Josh Allen, I think we'll all take Josh Allen. I think a good place to start would be a guy like Stafford. Are you still taking Stafford over Lawrence?
What Stafford am I getting? The Stafford now
today's Stafford.
And I'm building for a future, or am I just trying to win right now?
We're trying to win right now. The team around you is good enough. You just need a quarterback.
Stafford.
Okay. You got Stafford. Goff, same thing.
I would take Goff.
Jordan Love.
Ooh.
Yeah. I think I take Jordan Love as much as it kills me.
But see, you say that, but I'm like, put Trevor Lawrence in Green Bay.
Put Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay. It didn't look like what Jordan Love did.
We seen that. We know him and LaFleur didn't get along. So he has the kind of same effect as LeBron with head coaches. I don't want to hear it. Give me Love.
Okay, so that's kind of where, and I really do think that's fair. I think Jordan Love and Trevor Lawrence are at that point where it's like we haven't seen the full potential yet.
But Trevor Lawrence was hurt last year, so I'm going with the more healthier guy.
That's absolutely fair. Yeah, I mean, I think that's pretty fair rankings on our part. We'll have to go through these again as we get closer to the NFL season, but we didn't even talk about a lot of the quarterbacks that still have a lot left to prove. This list, in terms of the NFL, it's pretty clear up top. It is a crapshoot the further you go down the QBs in the NFL. And of course, you got all the rookies coming in as well. We didn't even mention Kirk Cousins on the Atlanta Falcons, how that's all going to play out with Michael Penix Jr. Plenty left to talk about as we wrap up this show. We'll get through some more on the shows later this week. So again, shout out to Morning Pierson-El on time as always. Harrison Owens on the 1s and 2s. Speed and Power up next with Megan Walker. Don't go anywhere.